Hello, welcome to AM Reviews. I'm Angelina Maria. This is pretty much a podcast that I made to talk about television systems. Anyway, there's a few topics I want to talk about tonight. The first being The Oval, episode 6-9, Family Business, NOLA or New Orleans, episode 1-8, and Sistas, episode 821. And let's get into it. The first thing on the docket is The Oval, season 6, episode 9. I'm not gonna lie, I do not remember the name of the actual episode. But anyway, a few things. First of all, the episode comes in with, Donald and Kyle on the president's desk. And they seem not to care or whatever. Eli seemed not to care because he's like, we got everything else going on. I don't really care about that. Like, we could talk about that tomorrow. We pretty much got a hostile situation in this White House. I really don't care about this man being gay. I really knew he was gay. What's funny is who didn't know he was gay was Hunter. Like, that came out, and what is homegirl name? Um, Simone tried to enlighten Lily, which I'm gonna get into that in a second, about him being gay and things like that. But Priscilla was the one to tell Hunter was like, yeah, he's gay. Like, he was like, no, I didn't know. And it's like, yeah, babe, he's gay. He's with Kyle. Like, that had came out, and then of course Hunter wants to see Donald. But that's pretty much that on that. Everybody found out about who didn't know, which is shocking if you didn't know, but everybody pretty much found out about Donald. And if you didn't know from like you found out verbally or you found out physically, as in you saw that he was gay, you know. Anyway, and next on it is of course, like I said, Simone calls herself trying to inform Lily about it. And she's like, I knew, like I know he's, that makes sense. It actually wouldn't make sense if they weren't sleeping together, if they weren't, doing that type of stuff or whatever. But I do like how Lily was trying to check or clock Simone to be like, you want to have a conversation with me and try to enlighten me that my husband is gay. First off, I know. Second off, you don't even want to be honest about sleeping with Bobby. Like, you slept with the man, you slept with the man. And I know your husband cheating on you, Victoria. Since we sitting up here just talking about who our husband's sleeping with, like, girl, I know. And she just wasn't, she couldn't really have that conversation with her. Now, mind you, Lily is also like really drunk. So she's not all the way together or what have you. But she's like, but she was spot on when it came to Simone and sleeping with Bobby because it's like, girl, if you sleep with him, just said, don't nobody care for real. But she was like uber weird, like, who do you like the most? Priscilla, me. Well, she said someone else, but she said Priscilla, Simone, or someone else. And then, yeah, she was just doing the most when she got drunk. She was just doing the most. But I would say this when it comes to Bobby and liking the women, I do believe that he really likes Priscilla. Let's not forget he never slept with her. He's never had her yet. I think he wants to protect her. He don't want to protect Simone. I'm not trying to be like that. He don't want to protect Simone. He wants to protect Priscilla the same way he used to want to protect um, Lily in the earlier seasons of the Oval, and I feel like he actually likes Priscilla. If Simone was trying to remember, like when she tried to hurt um Victoria or whatever in the hospital in the infirmary, of course he don't want the girl to do nothing stupid to go to jail, but I don't think he would want to protect her the same way that the way he's protective of um Priscilla. Like he don't care. He lets it be known in front of Sam, like, I'm going to protect your wife. Like it's a little different. And I do think it's partially because he has not had her. They did actually become friends. They did actually start talking and things like that. And he witnessed her husband cheat on her with Victoria and just kind of like saw her that pain and hurt, whatever. You know. Speaking of pain and hurt and cheating, last but not least, I'm be honest, I'm kind of tired of talking about her. Nancy, I'm really because they turned out and made Nancy to be one of the best villains slash worst villains. And the reason why I say she's the best slash worst villain is because it's like she's really good, but it's like it's kind of trash how she became the villain because it's like you're the one in the wrong, but you want to be the victim so bad. And it's like, sis, I need you to understand that you did, Like when Sam was telling Richard, he was like, well, you know, some people act out or do crazy things when they're grieving. No, he was like, what he say? He said something about, well, she's grieving because of the son. And then he was like, I'm grieving too. Like, I'm sorry. Did I not lose my son too? Did we not lose him together? And then it was like something else he said to like give her a form of grace. And it's like, she done tore up this man's house, took all his money, slept with his daddy in said house, in said bed. Like, and you don't work, you do not work, ma'am. It'd be different if she had to work and do this and do that. And it's like, girl, you're just trash. You're just trash. You're just garbage. I no. But the way it looked like, he looked like he finna try to end her life. Um, excuse me. It looked like he trying to end her life in the next episode. That's the way it ended this episode. And I'm gonna be honest. I mean, you watch what he did to his daddy, his father. You decided to play in that man's face. You decided to play with him. You thought that was bright. My opinion, I think that was mighty slow, but whatever. Moving on to the next thing on the docket, family business, New Orleans, or NOLA. So in this episode, I feel like quite a few things was illuminating as well. John ain't got a friend in order. He ain't got not one friend. The friend he thinks the foe he thinks he's have is actually been a better friend, but he just don't know that yet. He will soon find out. So come to find out, Jean's right hand man, Saint, was working with Pierre, Jean's brother, with Sebastian, dude from the Family Business New York, or the original Family Business. Yeah, he was working with him, selling drugs or getting the drugs or getting the money, like doing extra work on the side. Because that was his business partner. And Saint had a hand in that. So Saint was making extra money you knew nothing about. Now, mind you, John dirty for like turning him in or what have you, but when you think about it, y'all didn't really have each other back anyway. You done turned the man in. This man was working with your brother to make extra money. Seriously, like y'all loyalty was not to one another. And then come to find out who kills his brother, who ends his brother's life, is his wife Marie. And mind you, she does this in front of the Blues because if you put two and two together, she only did it in front of the Blues so that way he can so she Shirley can be kind of like arm wrestled into having to give some of her percentage up. Because if he's found in front of the Blues, he's gonna spaz out and try to kill, or end anybody's life that had anything to do with um with the demise of his brother. So I'm gonna end y'all because y'all ended my brother. I'm gonna end y'all. And since the crime scene is now the Blues, that it puts Shirley in the bind. And she did all that, but the only difference is she didn't know Shirley Duncan like she thought she did. And Shirley Duncan was able to call her people and kind of get out there and get around that. And now you done got caught up and you in it. Now, speaking of her people, one of her people happens to be Larry. She did not call Larry. Matter of fact, she didn't call in her people. She told her son to go on somewhere and lay low. But he didn't do that. He didn't call reinforcements. He called the Duncans that live in Georgia, which are Larry. Well, he called Curtis. He went to New York, talked to, I think, Orlando or Vegas. He talked to Vegas. He talks to Vegas, and Curtis and Lauren come. With that, they brought their mama Nene. Nene talks to the daddy Larry. Larry spins around because he like, baby, I'm coming back for you. She like, I'm not in New York. I'm in New Orleans. What the heck you doing in New Orleans? Oh, well, Big Shirley needed help. Blah blah blah. Skippy woo woo. And so he goes to New Orleans with. Well, I don't know what happened to his right hand man in the last episode, but with his son Kenny and with the girl Holly, um, and with the guy, I can't think of his name. I want to say Dennis. His name is Dennis. His name is Dennis. Him. And they all go. Now, mind you, they all eating. And this is when Saint was supposed to let the whole Killamore Indian Marquise, like taking his life. That was supposed to be over with. That was supposed to be squashed. We handling the business. I'm gonna get the blues. You cannot hurt this man. You cannot do nothing to this man. Don't put no bounty of said, don't do nothing. He did not respect that, and he did what he wanted to do. And he was having a meeting with some of the Crescent boys and talking about how he was going, you know, in his life. When he decided to do that, now he was like, yeah, on his green-eyed cousin. If he chime in, get him too. Now you don't know that you're having this conversation in front of this man, daddy. You just pretty much told this man and his son that y'all gonna kill his son. And to be honest, his brother. You're talking about this man's in front of his father and his brother. And then you talking about their cousin. So that's the nephew and the cousin. Bruh, you're done. So they followed him and of course ended everything. Now, mind you, this is where stuff gets murky. Didn't nobody know, because mind you, they not from there. So didn't nobody know who the heck they were. People don't know Shirley Duncan family like that because Shirley Duncan don't really flex she a Duncan. She shows the side. That's why I believe she's a Duncan by marriage. And they don't really say how she's a Duncan. But they flex the more docile side, like Mo and Floyd. They will hit you, but and they will handle you, but they're still more docile in comparison to the Duncans. She don't show them, so people don't really know them cards. You know, they are bounty hunters and assassins and drug dealers and sharpshooters and all types of. So if you don't even know a lot of them exist, and um, this is what they messed up. Larry is talking to Lauren in the hospital, you know, because he cut his hand on the gun or whatever. And when he does that, the Holly is talking to Kenny, talking about some, yeah, we need to end them too. We need to get them too. And that will turn me on. So he paying attention to her. And y'all run up on these people broad daylight with nothing on your face. And then you don't finish everybody. Some of them got away. Matter of fact, Holly, that ended Holly. That was the last thing she did. That she saw her demise doing that. So now you go back to the blues and the very thing that was going to get them from under John, you done just got these people caught up because they see you out front. And they don't even know you did none of this. They don't know that the prison boys are gone. They don't know nothing. They don't know what's through crime scenes. That woman don't know nothing. She been trying to save her own son life. She didn't know y'all was going on in the folks' life. She did not have a clue. Shirley did not know. Meanwhile, Shirley got a couple targets on her poor little head that she don't even know about. Speaking of that, last but not least, Mr. Gabriel, that man. I'm gonna say this. Let's go through a list of things that he did to try to get that woman. And he's unsuccessful in his efforts so far, which is driving him up a wall. The first thing he did was come to her job and offer six figures, 100K. Next thing he did was come to her house and offer 500,000, 500K. The next thing he did, all these things was no, gun in his face. That's how it went. No, and gun in that man's face. Both times. Next thing he did was the neighbors, the two hillbillies that like live on the land, on the farmland or whatever. And I think their cow died or something, and it was mad about it, or bull or whatever the heck happened. No, it was bull. That actually is worth a lot of money, especially if you like do like bull sperm, stuff like that. That could be worth a lot of money. A lot of people don't know that, but actually it's money in that. I digress. Um, so he bought their land, thus buying the land from them. I guess taking it from her. Cool. So he gives her that the deeds him, I bought it, I own it, da 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 da. Pretty much now making them neighbors, but not neighbors, whatever. And he literally, Floyd did the A-Town stomp across that man grill. That was the response to that. He bought that land so she could do whatever the heck she wants, stay open as long as she like. And Floyd came and did the A-Town stomp across his grill. So far he had a gun pointed at him from a distance, one pointed at his body, and he said it was worth dying for. Then he done had the A-Town stomp done all across his face. Next, he's like, okay, What's the next thing he does? The next thing he does is by him getting the A-Town stump all done all across his face. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna have a date. And she was like, okay, cool. He goes to pick her up. She got the police and a restraining order ready for him, sitting on ready. So that did not work because now it's his birthday. This man in jail. So now he mad. Yeah. So now he mad. But mind you, the person he in the cell next to is Saint. He bails Saint out so Saint can end her son's life. At the bare minimum, use and try to kidnap her to have her. Y'all, Saint didn't make it. Saint was unsuccessful in his efforts. So now this man done did all this and he's still ain't got that woman. He's still ain't got her. He still don't have her. And Gabriel ate his cake with a gigantic like butcher knife. Not the big chop knife, but like the big like sharp yeah. He's like that man, he finna crash out. He finna crash out over her because I don't understand. Like I really don't understand what the heck she got going on in her underoos. But obviously, it's causing this man to respond away. It's causing this man to respond away. So I ain't gonna lie, it's getting really interesting. I feel like season two gonna be really, really good. Cause John, I don't know what you're gonna do when you find out your wife killed your husband, killed your brother. And then you want to go to war, you finna go to war with Shirley. And Shirley don't even know she in the war. Meanwhile, Gabriel at this point, he finna do all kidnap the girl. So anyway, moving on. Last but not least on the docket is Sistas season 8, episode 21. It's quite a few things. I feel like this episode had quite a bit going on. Honestly, but that's because it's literally the last episode before the season finale. So they kind of got to jam pack it because they got to kill that season finale for people to go ahead and be like, oh, season 9. But I digress. First thing, so Mr. Gary Marshall Borders. At this point, I think Jasmine stabbed him at this point. The way they brought people back from previous seasons, like literally this season, it was the comeback season for real, for real. Like I know Aaron technically came back in season 7, technically, but he like was sprinkled in season 7. He was more prominent and in this season, like they made him more of a shoot him and Karen back together. So it's like but at this point, I think Jasmine did it. At this point, it's between Jasmine and Tamira, but I feel like possibly Jasmine. Um, so Hayden did not stab him, but supposedly grabbed a knife from the kitchen and I guess threatened him with it or wielded it, dropped it, whatever the heck it went, because he said he ain't worked it. That man took off his whole power of attorney just so that Gary cannot be like, oh, it was him who did it to me. But in the midst of that, that done caused Poe Hudson to crash out. And now he still got Hudson to deal with because Hudson waving guns all in his face. Child, moving on. Just moving on. And then we got, I'm gonna be honest, Andy killed it this episode. Andy, if I have legal problems, I know to go to 100 because one thing she gonna do, she gonna get you your job back and get you all your money and then some. She did it for herself. She did it for herself. But my thing with her really is more so Penelope. I'm so tired of Penelope. Penelope has really convinced herself that her issue with Andy is, oh well, you played my brother. Wrong. Oh well, uh, hold on, you played my brother. Wrong. That ain't the problem. Or, well, what was the other thing? Um, you tried to give me the runaway from Gary. Wrong. No, your problem with Andy is the fact that these men fall in love with her and you're so insecure instead of being like, okay, like you're mad at her because men are attracted to her and fall in love with her. Like Gary never, to be honest with you, darling, look at you and look at Andy. Y'all look the same. You just taller. That's the only difference, Bookie. You're just taller than Andy. Y'all look the same. Y'all hair color the same. Y'all the same complexion. You're just taller. That was the only difference. And you said you didn't need all this, that, and the third. But please, it's easy to say that you don't need a $3 million penthouse when a Negro won't buy you one. It's easy to say you don't need a $500,000 car when a Negro won't buy you one. I'm just saying. That's real easy to say. And that is so easy to say. That man spent $5 million on that girl in like 2 days. It's easy to say you don't need a man to spend all that money on you when he won't do it. I can easily say, I don't need a man. I don't want a man to do that. Do you think I would turn down $5 million if a man spending that on me? Nope, sure won't. Sure won't. Heck, it's easy to say it when it's not being done or won't be done for you. It's very easy to say. That's her problem. That man still loved her. It, literally, they was pregnant. She had moved on with that girl brother in Gary's face. Gary acted like a little child in that darn penthouse. He was in his feelings in that penthouse. He was mad. And then on that he's sniffing her underwear. And then fast forward to the man that got stabbed and can't remember nothing. He can't remember nothing to nobody, but all he can remember is Randy. He can remember her. He remember that. He remember that. Baby, please. You're mad because even in this man, when he ain't even got his brain together, he can remember her. He know he love her. He know he want her. He know he must have her. That hurts. That man disregarded you, your identity, your credit, and even the baby y'all was gonna have together. But he remember Andy. That's painful. So you taking it out on her. You making her the problem, and then you trying to go up and be run up on what's that boy name? Robin. You trying to be all up on him, baby, is just weird. It's just giving you really like our sloppy seconds. It's giving you almost considering being with your brother just because that's a man she didn't have before you. Girl, it's giving weird. It's giving desperate. It's giving sad. It's giving sad. Another thing before I move on to the next topic. Fatima, baby. Andy, I understand, like, the way Fatima be on Andy, it's like, is you cool? Like, to be honest, sometimes it's like, is you cool? Because she don't be on you the same way, Bookie. She don't. Danny has defended Fatima way more, and look how long it took for them. Look how long it took for them to build a friendship. She be on Andy so hard, and Andy will disregard her and ignore her. Like the Andy don't be the same for her. You got her on your GPS. You got like I'm just saying, is you cool? Like, why are you so? And I do understand, like, she care about her and that's her girl. But my thing is, she don't get that back and not never gonna get that back. She's never. Andy don't have the capacity to do it. I ain't gonna lie. For the one person I feel like she will get back to is actually Danny. That's the, that's the person that's gonna make Andy do the most, make Andy work the most. That's the one where Andy will respond to and acknowledge the most. If you pay attention, is Danny. Karen, I know it seemed like for a long time it was Karen, but she utilized Karen too. She would go to Karen, tell Karen all her problems, tell Karen all her business, and that would just be that. Karen was just a walking diary for her. And I know it's like, well, that's better. Karen was her walking diary. Yeah, but she didn't really do nothing for Karen. Oh, well, she did. She did. In the beginning, she did. She did a lot of helping Karen. And then they fell out bad. And when they did, they never really came back the same. So let me take that back. She did in earlier seasons really have her back. But she respected Danny always too. So it's just that, I don't know. Moving on. Oh, wow, dang. Speaking of Karen. She next on the docket. She next up here. So let's think about Karen. So Pam done told Karen what Maurice done did with the Roots to Riches, and he done pretty much turned it into Loop to Riches. And at first she wasn't feeling the idea. At first she was like, heck no, we ain't doing that. That's wild. We're not gonna use him as no ambassador. We're not gonna use it as a lubricant. That's not what that's for. We're supposed to be doing hair care and edges. Because remember they supposed to be raising up the darn it raising up the sales and stuff like that so Miss Marie can get her more money, which I think she's going to use it to launder money and wash money and things like that through the business. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. And Yeah. So at first she was like, heck no, put a coffee out, tea, whatever. She probably didn't get tea or water. Probably she is pregnant. First of all, she's still pregnant, y'all. A month done passed and she's still pregnant, y'all. At this point, like she has human real years, she's been pregnant for 3 years. She's been actively pregnant for 3 years. On that show, she's been pregnant for 3 years. No stuff. She's been pregnant for 3 years. Like real deal pregnant for 3 years. And she's been showing for a year. If that, I promise you, yo, we need. Well, I don't need the episode where Karen gives birth. I just need her with babies crying in the background. That's what I need. At this point, she ain't got to give birth. She ain't got to go into labor. So when season 9 premieres, she better just have 2 kids. Y'all can do a month time skip. I don't care. Y'all love the writers room love do a time skip anyway. They love a good time skip. They gonna skip some time. Skip it. Excuse me. Skip it to when that girl got kids already. I'm so tired of this. At this point, skip it to when they 3. Anyway, so tired of her being pregnant. That girl been pregnant forever. 3 actual years she's been pregnant. I'm sorry. For 3 actual years, the girl's been. I really did the math. I'm like, wait, bro, she's been pregnant 3 actual years. Fatima finna give birth first. Sabrina gonna give birth first. Like at this point, bro, please, bro, please, let the girl give birth. Just next, next. Um, so Brina, speaking of her old boo thing done came back. Now this is the thing. This is the thing with that. I ain't for it. Sorry. I'm just not really. I'm not. Cause I had said, I was like, at this point, I said first, Aaron came back, then Robin, now Calvin. Who's next? Preston, and please don't bring that man back. I don't. I'm getting to that in a second. This is my thing with Calvin coming back. You still, it's like she's gonna make Rich Calvin and do Calvin like he bio. Remember how she did like Jacoby? Jacoby was a little flame. Jacoby was a little, flame. That was something she did. You know, that's what that was. That was something to do. Bio, she actually entertained. We watched Bio for seasons. I think we met Bio like season 4. That Negro didn't lead a season 6. He didn't lead a season. We looked at him season 4, and how about in season 4, he told her he wanted Danny, and he still didn't get to go nowhere. He told you to your face, your friend is beautiful. Your friend is bad. He said to her, he said, you're beautiful. She, oh, well, thank you. He said, can you go back and get her? I'm so serious. That was what they second date? Huh. And he knew you had a man. He low-key took you from your man, saw your homegirl, and wanted your homegirl in your face. Okay. And I think that's what she's gonna do with Calvin. She's gonna make him bio because I don't think she's gonna like bio. She never slept with, but she did date him, and he was around literally for seasons. I do think that that's what she's gonna do with Calvin. Calvin did say something about he was wearing women's clothes, and I was like, "When the heck was he doing that?" He was wearing gay man panties. He was. I don't recall him wearing women's clothing ever. He was wearing very flamboyant clothes, but they still belong to men. At least I thought. Like then he was like, she treated him as a human. Baby, she didn't consider your feelings when you told her that you were not gay. Time and time again, she pretty much told you was a liar and delusional. That's not treating you like a person. But whatever. Maybe I watched a different show. I don't know. Sometimes I be thinking I'll be watching a whole different show. Sometimes I don't really be knowing for real, honestly. Last but not least, this kind of ties into Andy a little bit too still, but my girl, Danny. I'ma say this. Do not go back with Tony. And Preston don't come back. And then that's that. Okay, first, like I said, they bring back something to old men. Do not bring back Preston. I think he works better on Zatima. I think he works better on Zatima. Him and Danny, uh-uh. And then Tony, I'm gonna be honest, a part of me is for Tony. Like my heart is for Tony. Like the emotions of me, the heart of me is like, oh Tony, figure that out, make that work. My brain is like, let that Negro go and act like you never knew him. Here's why. Of course, in tonight's episode, literally it opens with the case. It opens pretty much with the case where um the the lawyer, I can't think of her name because Brown is the HR. The other lawyer, the airlines lawyer, I'm just gonna call it that. The airlines lawyer, they're like, she's like, um, so you're just gonna pretty much use misogyny and things like that to say that that's why she went through what she went through and assaulted that man with that coffee, this, that, and the third. And she was like, yeah, pretty much. She was like, that's not gonna hold up. She was like, okay, so we can go to court and front of Miss King's peers, I'm gonna explain to her the misogyny of a cisgendered heterosexual white male. And that's why she felt like she had to defend herself. So when you say stuff like cisgendered white male, Danny is a black woman. So not only does it seem like he was being misogynist, could have possibly been being racist, could have been a bit of bigotry. Like when you paint it like that, it's like, well, dang, it might not have just been sexism. It could have been other things as well. Because he had told her, I'm more qualified than you. As a white man telling a black woman that is not something you say, that doesn't go well. And what's sad is that could be true, but when you say it, it sounds more like, well, I'm a white man, so I got to be more qualified than you. You're a woman and you're black. Like, that's great. Ain't no way you beat me in something. You had to be sleeping with this man. Is that true? Yeah, but yes and no. Yes, she sleeping with him. No, she didn't want it. And to be honest, I think Danny really can't. Danny is very smart. She didn't. So I don't know. She been through a lot, so she processes stuff a little differently. Not everybody process stuff the same. Okay, there's that. So then they're like, all right, we ain't gonna go out of court. We just gonna give our job back. So she was like, yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. You ain't finna just get this girl out of work for a whole month and then give her a job back. Now, mind you, in order for her to get a paycheck, guess what? She would have to wait an additional 2 weeks. That's 6 weeks without a paycheck. That's a long time not to have no money when you're a normal person. Like, if you somebody, that's a long time period. A month and a half with no paycheck, whew, that's tough. That's tough work. That's tough work right there. So she like, heck no, that ain't gonna cut it. So then the lawyer was like, okay, all right. Because Andy was like, that ain't it. And then the lawyer was like, okay, cool. We'll give her the back pay for the month she missed. She was like, oh, okay, that's cute. Pain and suffering, $150,000. When she said that, the HR lady, the lawyer, was like, what, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? So soon as they said that, like they going off, and Danny eyes buck like, what crap this girl just say? Like she cool, and then here come Tony. He says, Danny, like for real, like this what we doing, Danny? This is how you know Danny truly loves him. When he says her name, she actually felt bad and was like, dang, I don't want to do this to him because yeah, I'm fighting the airline, but he's the VP of the airline. So I'm also fighting him. That's when I think it hit Danny. I'm also fighting him. Because it didn't hit her before. She just really wanted her job back. So when he says her name, she thought about it, like, and she was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, I would love the money. I can use the money, but getting my job back, I'm cool with that. Like I'm cool with that. We ain't gotta do all the extra. And it was like, you trust me? She was like, yeah, cool, I trust you. And she said $150,000. They said, man, I'll give you 50. She moved, Danny still was like $50,000. Because you have to think about it. Danny's a normal person. Danny's not a celebrity. Like the actors, even the actors and actresses. Somebody give them an additional $75,000 if they ain't got to do nothing on this, just their money. They gonna smile. I'm not gonna hold you. So she like $50,000. They said 60. She like, what the? She was like 100. And she's like, is you cool? Like, what is you cool? You done already got me my job back. Already got me the back pay out of the loss. Is you cool? That they was like, well, set up for $75,000. She said, no, she said $75,000 and I'll see you in court. That's it. deal. This is what y'all understand real quick for a second. When she helped get Brenda her job back and all that stuff, she really didn't even help Brenda get her job back. All she did was get Brenda off, and she barely did that. And I'm not dissing Annie when I say that. What I'm saying is the lead detective, because Logan was not the lead detective. No, he was the lead detective. The DA. The DA was like, I'm looking at this evidence. It's sketchy as ever. It don't seem real. I can't see them doing this. I'm looking at the stuff. It just don't seem right. It looked like he was genuinely scared. She was genuinely scared. And then if you look at the audio, he sound like he joking. He don't sound like he's serious. It just seemed sketchy. And then Q had already got caught up on, stuff like that. So he was like, you just wanted to hurry up and make cheap. You just want to hurry up and get that promotion to the point where you was finna tank two people's lives for what? So it was the DA that decided to drop that case and put the real person in jail. Andy did not do that. Andy didn't do that. And even then, she didn't get Sabrina her job back. She didn't get Sabrina no back pay. Everything happened organically with Sabrina. Think about it. Everything happened organically with Sabrina. With Danny, Danny was still technically suspended. Danny wasn't even fired officially, but I mean, you suspended that long with no pay, you fired. Danny could find another job in that time. So I'm assuming, even though she talk about a job, it must be kind of decent, or at least for the climate where she at, or probably think about it, she probably got a pay raise with him taking over. Because if you notice, past couple seasons, you ain't heard her talk about she can't pay her rent or this, that, and the third. Danny's able to afford therapy. Now I know, and now therapy ain't as expensive as it used to be and stuff like that. But she's not on ZocDoc and she ain't on BetterHelp, having a therapy session. She actually goes to a legitimate therapist that has a legitimate practice that makes house calls. I'm pretty sure that costs something. And if you pay attention, ever since dude took over, Danny dresses better. When we used to see Danny and before, and Danny would get dressed for real, Danny wouldn't care, or Danny would just be like in jeans, Jordans, and the top, or jeans, gym shoes, and the top, like for real. Or maybe like a cute little cheap little dress. Danny actually like look at the suit she wore. Look at the fact that she was able to afford her rent while not having any income for a month. Think about that. So I'm assuming Danny makes more money. Because you ain't really heard her complain or cry. She held a brunch. It was her idea to have brunch, and she didn't ask nobody for nothing. That's not like Danny. Danny's idea to go out have brunch, and she didn't have to. Huh? I'm just saying. I'm just saying it was Danny's idea. You got to factor that. So her money is obviously different with him being the VP. It's obviously a little different. It's better. So if you factor in this girl that now got $75,000 plus back pay, Danny probably gonna walk away with about $80,000. Because if you factor it in, Danny has to get a month's pay of back pay. Let's say Danny probably make about $1,500 every 2 weeks. Let's just say she does. Give her a nice round number. And I could be out, but it could be give or take about that. That's $3,000. Let it have been let's say it was a 3-check month. That's $4,500. I'm just saying that is 97.5. I've said that so backwards. 79.5. I said 97.5. Sorry. That's 79.5. But let's just say, or even 78. Either or, Danny finna walk away with closer to 80,000. That's the point I'm making. She finna walk away with about 80,000. And you know Andy did it pro bono, so you know she ain't have to get Danny. All she gonna have to do, and she ain't gonna have to do it, is get by that girl some drinks or something to eat. You know she did that pro bono. You know she did. She ain't got to buy that girl nothing. Danny, for a normal person, is walking around with quite a bit of nice, sexy money. And she kept her job, man, and got her job. So all the money that she missed, they have to calculate that and give that back. They have to calculate every dime of it and give it back to that girl in addition to $75,000. And how the heck does he do it right after? I see you and I'm sorry. I know he's sorry. You got 75 plus in your account right now. That man don't see nothing. He see your dollars, baby. Don't take that man back. Don't take that man back. She can't take them back. Then how things get even better. Shit, so now, mind you, the big bed he done bought her. She curled up with that on the couch, scrolling on her phone. He knocks on her door so he could propose. Girl, don't take that down. Now, mind you, she did him kind of the same way she did Preston. When Preston, remember, she was like annoyed and was like, man, no, man, we ain't getting married. You wildin', man, you tripping. So she tells him, like, why the heck you want to get married? I just sued you and really the company for wrongful termination or whatever. And you think it's time to propose to me? Like, what the heck is wrong with us? This is the thing. A part of me is like, I would like for them to get back together, try to figure it out. That's my heart more so. My brain is no, because he now knows that she has money. You gotta think about it. This man that got divorced. His ex-wife didn't get $75,000 out of him because he didn't have $75,000 to give her. He didn't have that type of money. He a normal man. He probably had maybe a couple thousand, maybe tens of thousands of dollars. Not no darn 75. And Danny do a right investment. Danny can end up with six figures. Think about it. And Danny do the right investment. Like say she invested in the Rooster Riches, right? And Rooster Riches start making her money. Over time, Danny can have six figures. That ain't got nothing to do with her job. Of course he proposed to you, Goofy. Don't take that ring, girl. Don't take it. But that's pretty much all I got to say on all that. Thank you so much for sitting with me and with AM Reviews. Thank you so much for sitting on this episode of AM Reviews. Let me find out I can't talk. Once again, I am Angelina Maria, and that's been my tidbit on the Oval, episode 69, Family Business Nola, episode 18, and Sistas, episode 821. Thank you. Okay, bye.